And our first story takes us out to Rochester, New York, where, quite frankly, Jennifer, one of the most horrible things I have ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of horrible things, happened in Rochester in broad daylight, all in body cam glory for all of America to see.
Yeah, no, it was something like I have. My daughter's 17 now, and my youngest child is 14, but I couldn't even imagine a child that age, being put through something like that.
So to frame this up, we have two videos. There's actually multiple body cam videos that the Rochester Police Department released over the weekend. Of course, they released it over the weekend because you release bad news over the weekend. I say that as somebody who was in marketing for 20 years. You release bad news over the weekend because you hope that it goes to die in the news cycle. I will give credit to CNN and USA Today. Both of those publications, which are very big news organizations, both amplified this story. The first video that we're going to show is from the incident before this 9-year-old child. Do not forget this when you watch this video, is brought to the police cruiser. Then we will stop, we'll unpack that video, and then we will show the second video. There is a disclaimer on both of these videos. This stuff is really hard to watch. And I had one hell of a time editing these videos today. And with that, Jennifer, I'm just going to go ahead and roll the first video.
Okay.
Stop.
No!
Stop. 247.
I am not.
247. I got her at 76 Harris. Just start a rig.
Get off of me!
Stop. What's going on?
Get off of me!
What's going on?
Get off of me!
I'm not gonna get off.
Get off!
What is going on? How can I help you?
Get off of me!
No,
I
because
don't
you're
want
not
to be
gonna run. Harris, you're not gonna run away from me, okay? Because I'm gonna have to chase you. Okay? And I got like 6 other cars coming to chase you.
I don't care.
All right?
I don't care.
Well, come and talk to me, please.
No, I don't want to.
Dear. What is going on? What did you tell your mom?
What
did you tell your mom?
I'm not going.
Huh?
I'm not going.
Huh?
I'm not going.
That's fine. But what did you tell your mom?
What?
What happened? Why are you so upset?
She stabbed my dad.
Who did?
Her.
She did? Okay.
That was my blood you seen off of my lip. The fuck?
No, it was not, because when he walked in the house, he was holding his stomach.
It was my blood. How the hell?
So your lip gonna bleed all the way down to your stomach, to your
Fighting
pants.
on the porch.
Who's
yes,
your dad?
you grown ass little girl. You're grown as a bitch. You
who's
don't know
your
what
dad?
you're talking about. Look at you.
Who's your
That
dad?
was your blood of your lip. That much blood?
Yes, he had me in the headlock. You finna really make me do.
Ma'am.
Really finna go in on your ass. Now, because she's 9 years old and she really behind. That's why she's
Here's
done.
what happened.
That's why she's done.
That
It's
was not
okay.
her
You
blood.
sit there, watch this man put his hands on me all the time. All the time.
Did you stab him?
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
How do you know that?
Because
Right, how do you know that?
Yes, because when he walked in the
Come
house,
to my car, let's
when he
talk.
walked
It's
in the
freezing
house,
out. Come on.
he was holding. Okay, so your
Hold on.
lip gonna
I'm
go
not-
with his blood. And
He had me in the headlock.
I'm not
So you
saying.
stabbed him?
I'm sitting here arguing with him. Yeah, so I stabbed him.
Yes, you did.
I just put the police on him. They gonna find him.
No.
He is.
No.
They gonna find him.
Dear, just
If
come
we gonna
with me
see
to my
you
car,
You gonna get your
right?
ass for sitting here lying.
I'm not.
Come on.
I'm not going to that.
First of all, Steviana,
Huh?
you gonna bring your ass to this motherfucking house, and I'm gonna ask you one more time. You gonna bring your ass to this house if I yoke your ass up and drag you home? I got custody. You're my child. So you gonna take your ass home right now, and you gonna take your ass in the house.
All right, come on. Hold on. Not helping you.
Go the fuck in the
helping
house
anything.
now.
Come on. Come on. Ma'am,
I wish you might.
if you want my help, just get up.
You might.
Come on.
Who the fuck is you talking to like that? Get away! Who the fuck is you talking to like that? Who the fuck is you talking to like that? No!
Come on, you gotta come with me. You gotta come with me.
Who the fuck is you talking to like that?
Come on. Come on, dear. All right, listen, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Go back to the house. All right? Dear, you're not running away from me. You're not running away. Come on.
Can I help ya?
Come on.
Can I help ya? Can I help you?
Come on.
I'm fuck ya. Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you?
All right, let's go. Stop. Enough.
Can I help you?
Enough.
And you can suck my dick. And you can suck my dick. And you can suck my dick. What's up?
Enough.
What up? What up? But bitch ain't shit pussy about me. What up?
Come on. Stop.
What up?
Stop.
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Right, you still talking. Let me go. Still talking though. Bitch. That's the ass bitch. What the fuck up, bitch? Don't help me about my shit.
Yeah, Mom's trying to start a fight with cars driving by now, so get a couple cars down. Stop.
Stop.
Put her in your car.
No. No.
Yeah. Stop.
I want my dad.
You gotta tell this officer where you pulled her. Come on.
I'm not going nowhere. I want my dad.
247, we don't need you here. Hey! Get back in your house!
No. I want my dad.
You're not gonna run off.
I want my dad.
Stop.
I want my dad. I'm not getting in no car. I want my dad. I want my dad. No.
The second half, there's two videos. The other video starts roughly where we ended this video and the two overlap. And so that's why we cut the video where it's at. Jennifer, this is really, really tough for me to talk about.
Yeah. It's ugly. I mean, what gets me is, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later in one of the stories, but there are people out there claiming that, certain narratives create distrust for people in the Black community or BIPOC community more broadly in the police. But it's actually incidences like this that create that mistrust.
And I think that's a really good place to start the conversation. One of my thoughts that I had in watching this, and then there's some other thoughts I have, and I'm going to save it for the second half, is the child becomes just absolutely terrified when they're going to go to put her in the back of the cruiser. And for a Black child in America in 2021, in the era of George Floyd, this seems like a very rational response in the mind of a child.
It seems like a rational response from any child, let alone a child, a Black child. I mean, that response, I'm sure, is intensified. But I know if somebody were to try and take my child at 9, when he was 9, and try and put him in the back car, he would have had a similar response. But imagine that fear being intensified because, you have the skin color of people who are continuously targeted by the police.
Yeah. One of the other things that jumped out at me in that first section is when the child made the accusation that her father was stabbed, and very interesting, Rochester Police have been tight-lipped on that one. They have neither confirmed nor denied anything about the parents. If anybody has even been like in a car accident and the police show up at a car accident and the he said, she said starts, what's the first thing the police tells the other party? Take a walk.
Yeah.
You go away. I am talking. And not only did they never did that, the mother assaulted the child while the police was restraining the child on body camera, and the officer didn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah. There's so much absolutely wrong with this entire situation. And I think we should save a lot of the commentary we have for the second half we're about to show.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll go ahead and play the second half of this clip. There's a warning on the second half of this clip. The other is we will do the land acknowledgement after we do this story. This story is way too sensitive and way too important to break with the land acknowledgement at this point. We will do it at the end of this particular segment. This second clip is really hard to watch. Now, one of the things that we've done for you, the audience, is there some areas where things are hard to hear or unintelligible. We have put the words on the screen so that you can read some of the things that are being said, not just by the 9-year-old child, but by some of the police officers as it just spirals out of control. So try and stick with us and watch the second half.
Here, let's go have a seat.
No, I want my dad.
You're not gonna run off.
I want my dad.
You're gonna be fine.
Stop.
I want my dad. I'm not getting in no car until I see my dad.
Here, just stop for a second.
I want my dad.
Control 47. I'm in.
I want my dad. No.
Stop. Don't kick us, dear.
Stop! Oh my God!
Stop, dude.
Okay,
Just relax.
okay.
You
Wait, my
done?
mom, she's pregnant.
Are you done?
My mom's
Are you
pregnant. Oh, yes, please just
Stop.
let me go. I want my dad.
Stop. Here.
Please.
You good?
Give me a
2-4,
break.
son.
I want.
I know.
For us, sir. Bob's still trying to play.
Ma'am, hey, get out of the street for me. Get out of the street. Get out of the street for me. Just stand out of the street.
I want my dad. I want my dad. I want my dad.
It might be either this.
I want my dad.
I got one car out here.
I want my dad. I want
You
my
gotta
dad.
stop and take a breath. You're all right.
Stop.
Can I just see my dad, please? I want my dad. Wait, can I just please get the snow off of me?
I'll get the snow off you.
It is cold.
In the
You've
car.
had your chance.
Get in the car now.
Okay?
Okay.
You've had your chances.
I want
What
my,
are you doing?
I want
What are
my
you
dad.
doing?
I want
Because
my
you're gonna go to jail now too.
I want my
Have a
dad.
seat,
Wait,
dear.
I just want to see my dad, please. For the last
Stand
time.
right here. Get
I
in the
want
car.
my dad.
Get in the car.
I demand
I don't care what you demand. Let's go.
I
She's got her
want,
leg underneath my car.
stop. I want my dad. I want my dad.
Stop or you're gonna get yourself hurt.
Stop. He's hurting me. I want to. Oh my God.
Then get in the car.
Please help somebody. No.
You want me to grab it from the other side?
I want my dad. Stop.
Sit her up.
Stop.
Sit up.
No.
You're acting like a
I
child.
want to.
Stop.
I am a child. The fuck.
I just went back to the house.
My arm.
lift
I
her up.
have a
All right.
bad arm.
Stand up. Stand up.
Yeah, let
I
that
have
go.
a
Stand
bad
up.
arm.
Then stand up.
I want my dad.
I can't hurt. She's on the
I
ground.
want a girl officer.
Stand up. Stand up.
Girl officer. I'm right here. You're gonna get sprayed. Man, I want a girl officer.
Stand up.
Stand
baby.
up.
I want a girl. Please don't stand up for me.
Okay, they'll get off of you, but you have to get up, okay? Will you get up? Can you let go over? I got her. I got her. Come on. I will. They will let go, but you gotta stand up. Stand up. Will you stand up for me? Will you stand? Hey, look at me. Stand up.
I can't the way I'm sitting.
Ready? Yep. Good job.
A little bit more. A little bit more.
Look. Good, there you go.
He's pulling too hard.
Chill. It's okay. I know. I know. Go ahead.
Are you
Sit
gonna?
back for her. Sit back for him. Okay.
I'll let go if you're gonna be.
Sit back
If you're gonna
for him so
stop.
he doesn't pull you, okay?
I want my dad.
I'll find your dad, okay? But you need to sit back. Put your foot here.
No,
And sit back.
I want my dad.
I'm gonna get your dad, okay? But you need to get warm, otherwise you're gonna get hypothermia. So sit back, okay? I'll get your dad, I promise.
My dad.
Is he here?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll find him, okay? But But you, hey, look at me. I can't find your dad until you sit back and I can close the door, okay? I will find your dad. Just sit back. I promise. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Don't look anywhere else. I promise.
Get in the car.
Okay?
I'm done telling you. Get in the car.
This is it, hon. Okay?
Get back in the car
You
then.
gotta sit back. He won't do it if you sit back. Come on. We'll fix them once you sit in the car. Come on.
I want my dad.
Come on. I'm gonna pay for you and I don't want to. So sit back. Then sit back. Come on.
I want my
This is your last chance. Otherwise, pepper spray's going in your eyeballs. Come on, let's go.
Alright, just keep me safe for a minute.
Come on.
I want my dad.
Come on. I'm gonna go get him. Now sit back. Come on. I will fix it. I will fix it.
If we need to, why don't we separate mouth stars?
Let's just sit back.
I want to see my dad.
Now until you sit back. Come on. Now until you sit back. Sit back. Come on. Put your legs in. It's your last chance.
I want my
Last chance. I'm going to go get your dad.
I want my dad.
Come on.
I want to call him.
I will call him. Sit back. Come on. They are losing their patience. Okay?
I want my
Come on.
I want my dad.
Come on. Good job. Come on. You're almost there. Come on.
I want my
Come on. Use
dad.
this.
What's her name?
I don't know her name.
Bradstreet, what's her name?
Sit back.
Dear, why
Okay.
you just stop for a second and take a deep breath. Hey,
Please, no.
just stop.
Please. I will get your dad.
No,
Otherwise,
you said that you were gonna pepper spray me. No, please, no, stop.
sit back.
Oh, I got a bad arm.
Just spray her.
I do not know I have
Just
a bad
spray her at this
arm.
point.
Stop. Stop.
Dear,
Stop.
I got her. I got her.
Please wipe my eye. Wipe my eye, please.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, understatement of the night. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I need a few seconds. I really need a few seconds. I saw a couple of malcontents tap out. I don't blame them. The team knows that I've watched this video multiple times because I had to edit it. So, and it doesn't get easier.
No, it's gross. It makes me like viscerally angry to watch it. The fact that they couldn't even bother to ask her name. The fact that they thought that pepper spray was the answer to deal with a child clearly having, both a reaction to what's going on, but also horrified. She's asking for a female officer, which is not an unreasonable request. She's not, of course she's upset, but she's not being rude. She's, saying ma'am, she's asking politely. But the fact that they pepper sprayed her and then didn't offer to wipe her eyes out when she asked, that made me so.
You could say it. I would hit the button.
Oh my God. The fact that these assholes still even have jobs and are paid is beyond me. The fact that there were 15 police officers to restrain a 9-year-old child is disgusting.
It was 9 officers.
Nine?
It was 9 officers that were involved in a call for a single 9-year-old child. If I had a little more time tonight, I would have replayed the clip when the Proud Boys charged at the Capitol, the pedestrian barricades. There were less officers there than the 9. They were all white, by the way, Jennifer, if you didn't notice that. All white officers for a black 9-year-old child, although her race hasn't been identified. The video very, very clear because we can see skin on her back, skin on her. She's very, very clearly a black child.
Well, yeah, I apologize. It wasn't 15. It was 9 officers and 5 police cars, I believe, called in to restrain a 9-year-old child. And she's clearly concerned about her father. So something occurred there, which is also an extremely natural response for a child, especially if there's been some kind of incident. This was so grossly mishandled. I can't understand for the life of me why they were not immediately relieved of their duties without pay. I can't.
She asked for a female officer. The female officers, like right here, tried to take over, and then who pepper sprays her in the face? The female officer.
The female officer was not even remotely compassionate to this child. Not one bit. Not one.
So we have some updated news or some breaking news out of Rochester, New York tonight. An unannounced number of police officers have been suspended involved in this incident. There were 9 officers total on the call. Rochester did not say how many of those officers have been suspended. They are suspended with pay. The mayor has expressed utter frustration that is the only power that the mayor has because police union contract.
I'm sorry, but fuck that. Like, that is just... You wonder why there's such an egregious abuse of power by police officers. It's because they fucking get away with it continuously. Continuously, and nothing is done.
One of the things that I'm left to wonder, if this is how Rochester Police behaves in broad daylight on a Friday with a 9-year-old child with multiple body cams rolling, how do they behave at 2 a.m. in a dark alley on a drug dealing call?
I mean, is that even a question we have to answer?
Well, I think it certainly raises the question on police conduct, because if they're that comfortable and that brazen with the body cams rolling, and there are multiple moments that we see in those videos, like for instance, in the first video, the body cam gets turned around and it's this way. And so at one point he consciously turns it back, and then that body cam, we cut this part out. There's a body cam you see that falls on the ground. They pick that body cam up and the officer reattaches it back to their uniform. They knew what was going on with being filmed, and they didn't give a fuck.
No, they did not give a fuck. Who the fuck does that to a child and thinks that's acceptable and says, hey, let's fucking put this on camera? It's because they know they're essentially untouchable.
This represents so much, and there's so much at work here. Clearly, this child is in a dysfunctional and broken home. That is really clear. And after the child was examined at a hospital, guess what officials did?
They sent her home.
They sent her home. It's mind melting.
Absolutely.
That child got no justice, no protection, no care, no nothing. And the best that they could probably hope for is like a paid vacation for the police officers involved.
And that's the part that pisses me off so much about the female officer. Clearly, this child has been mistreated by her mother. We saw her mother go after her on the camera. So all she's looking for is like a little compassion from a female officer. And this woman is so callous, she can't fucking give her that. So why are you doing your job if you can't have any kind of compassion, regardless of your fucking gender, for a 9-year-old child?
Sorry. And when I watch that video, do you know who, to me, is the only one that is remotely acting like an adult in that entire video?
The child?
The child. The child is.
And then
please, ma'am, I want a female officer, which, by the way, as a female, that is her right.
So here's the thing. She clearly has some familiarity already with police if she knows to ask for a female officer.
Well, because as we have heard, and now we get into that dangerous tightrope for us as white allies, Jennifer, but we have heard from everybody who has black children that they have to have the talk. This is how you have to behave around the police so you don't end up with a bullet in your head.
That is absolutely, yeah. I mean, I can't even fathom having to have that talk with my child. There's no way I could fathom that.
This is one of those stories that I know people want to look away because it's so awful. I mean, for me, this is on par with George Floyd. This is just as bad. And don't look away.
Yeah.
It isn't the sense don't look away in that you know, embrace the horror, embrace this sick pornography of it. Is we have to do better. This is January 2021. This is after all Black Lives Matter. This is things are winding down. And even in that environment, this is what's going on. And this is only the stuff we see on camera. Don't forget that.
Absolutely. So here's the thing too, you know, after most of these, when Jacob Blake, George Floyd got shot, people immediately went to try to find the wrongs that they did to justify what they did to deserve this. How are you going to do and try and make that same argument with a 9-year-old child?
Yeah, exactly. And then the police, they had to spray her with an irritant.
Yeah.
Pepper spray is not an irritant. I've taken pepper spray to the face multiple times. It fucking sucks, and I'm an adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm an adult knowing what I'm signing up for.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an awful story. And I'm telling you, don't let this one get swept under the rug, malcontents. If you're watching us, you know, in the New York area, first of all, I got to say, we collectively were like, oh man, there's good. So kudos to the community in Rochester, New York, who at least appear in the Black community taking a breath. We did share a Zoom meeting that was going on with a number of very outraged Black leaders in the community that they made public in that meeting. We have that up on our Facebook page if you want to go back and watch that. I think it's a very good thing to watch and listen to, where they're plotting their next course of action on how to deal with this. But the rage is absolutely building in Rochester, and paid vacations don't even begin to justify what happened there. Anybody who thinks this is funny, go pepper spray a 9-year-old kid in front of a cop and see what happens to you. You're not going to find the consequences of that very funny. And frickin' qualified immunity. Friggin' these police union contracts are complete bullshit.
Mm-hmm. They really are. Or anybody who thinks it's funny, go fucking pepper spray yourself in the face. Shut up. Like,
Yeah.